Hi there, and welcome to another Mickey's Roundtable Adventure where we explore everything Disney, one themed adventure at a time. You'll notice my set's looking a little bare here. There is a reason for that. You're going to have to stay tuned to the end to find out the full reason why. But before you do watch this video, I recommend you go back and watch my other video, America's Main Streets to Main Street USA, My Disney Story, from World Traveler Flight Attendant Stroke Victim to marathon running Walt Disney World cast member. Yeah, this one is going to pick up where that one left off, and this is going to be the second half of My Disney Story, all the way to the bitter end. You're not going to want to miss this very personal Mickey's Roundtable Adventure. All right, so this wasn't supposed to be part of the video here, but I thought, hey, this is, wow, okay, this is, yeah, so it is Tuesday night, August 11th, about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I think. Cleaned all the stuff out, loaded up the truck here, and had friends help me in the morning, and so anyway, so they helped me do the heavy stuff, and then I did all the little boxes, and so I've been going up and down the stairs all day long, and yeah, so I'm driving along down here, and all of a sudden my left leg starts cramping up, and I got this great big truck. I can't just pull off the road anywhere or whatever, and it's kind of it's painful right now. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on here. I haven't even made it to the interstate yet because avoiding the tolls here in Florida. Yeah, that's never had that happen before while I was driving. So I'm hopefully going to walk it off here, and we'll do a dissolve or something, and next thing you know, I'll be in Georgia, and then I'll tell you some of the backstory, and we'll get into the video here. This was just kind of a random, oh hey, let me shoot some video of this, because this is, yeah, something strange is afoot at the Circle K. All right, so Georgia is on my mind. Actually, a lot of things are on my mind. A friend asked me the other day, how long is it going to take you to drive up to Minnesota from Florida? And if you went straight on through, it's about 24 hours. That being said, yeah, with the events of the last couple weeks, a lot is on my mind, and this may be very well be the longest road trip I've ever taken. And that's saying something, because I've done some doozies. Yeah. But also on my mind is not just the last few weeks, but the last few years. All of my previous jobs at Disney, working on the Walt Disney World Railroad, the Jungle Cruise, and the monorail. Training to be a pilot on the monorail. That was the toughest 2 weeks of my life. I was stressed out beyond words. And at the end, I wasn't sure if I wanted to take the assessment, the final test, or not. And ultimately it came down to, well, if I fail, I fail. But if I pass, do I want to do the job? And ultimately I thought, nope, I do not want to be a monorail pilot, and ended up going on to outdoor vending and other things. Watch that other video. I'm going to try and take a little bit of a nap. It is really hot in here. I might have to turn on the engine and boost the air conditioning. 'Cause, anyway, yeah, no, when you're doing a big long road trip, I got some caffeine in me, but caffeine does not beat actual sleep. If you are tired, nothing beats sleep for getting over that. No matter how much caffeine you have, it's still going to catch up to you at some point. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of sleep in, and then continue on. Yeah, right now it is like 2 o'clock on August 12th, 2025. I left yesterday, August 11th, 2025. Did I tell the story yet? No, I was too busy talking about my leg and my cramp. Yeah, so I quit my job at Disney on Thursday is when I told them. Friday they put it through, and rented a truck for Monday, spent the weekend packing all my stuff up, and yeah, so this yesterday morning then a friend drove me to the truck rental place, and that was beautiful, fantastic. And then when I got the truck back home, a couple of friends, two of the gals that I work with, they couldn't help, but they wrangled their boyfriends into coming and helping me, and I know both of them and get along with both of them extremely well. So that was a godsend to have them both come out and help me haul a bunch of the heavier stuff, and then I spent the afternoon doing all the smaller boxes and stuff myself. But yeah, it's been a long day, and it's already tomorrow, but yesterday was a very long day. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna take a nap, and then we'll be on our way, and then we'll get some more video and some more backstory about my last few years here at the Walt Disney World as a cast member. Yeah, for now, I'm gonna take a few get a few winks in here. Yeah, so all right, it is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. So last night I spent the night, big chunk of the night, sleeping in the truck. Tonight I decided to get a motel room, Motel 6 to be specific. They did not leave the light on for me. That's okay. This is weird. Okay, I'm used to a Mickey Mouse shaped table. This is going to take a second to get used to this. So anyway, it's basically day 2 of my adventure here, heading back home after leaving Disney, quitting my job at Walt Disney World. And so this is my Disney story, the second half, the end half here. While working at the Liberty Square Riverboat, I managed to make it to my 5-year anniversary of working at Walt Disney World. I almost didn't. Just like a week or two before my 5th anniversary, yeah, I was up in the wheelhouse, no guests or anything, nobody could see what was up there, and I took my phone out of my pocket and I set it on the little shelf there, and a coordinator came upstairs and saw it there. He ratted me out, and I had to go to the office, and I was suspended, potentially without pay, and potentially could have been fired, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what I was going to do, and fortunately for me, I'm not sure if it's because I'm a good cast member or maybe because it was really stupid, but whatever the reason, I ended up not getting fired, did make it to my 5th year anniversary. There's a lot of people that have been fired from Disney for really, really stupid reasons. I've never worked anywhere ever in my life, and I've worked for giant evil corporations before, but I've never worked anywhere where there was like a dark cloud of you could get fired at any time for any reason, like there is working at Walt Disney World. And fortunately for me, I didn't get fired because I was planning my big trip out to Disneyland out in California to celebrate my 5-year anniversary. That was a fun trip because I could get into the parks for free being an employee. And so I went to Disneyland Park, California Adventure, back to Disneyland Park. I did a bunch of other stuff as well. Drove up to San Francisco and saw the Walt Disney Family Museum. Whole bunch of stuff around LA. I've got separate videos for those as well. The coolest thing, though, was I did the Walt's Main Street Story tour, and on that tour, you get to go up into the Walt's apartment, which I'd done before on a previous tour. But before I did the tour, I had run over to the restroom, and while I was going back to where you meet to start the tour, who comes walking out from backstage but Pluto? This was cool because the certificate they give you, it's got Pluto on it. So I got a really cool picture of me and Pluto with my certificate, and Walt's apartment, the fire station, is in the background. So yeah, that was a good trip, fun trip. A little more fun than the trip I'm on right now, but that's okay. Very different reasons for the trips and for the journeys. But yeah, today I think was the longest day of driving that I'll have, because basically I drove all the way through, other than stopping for gas and food. That's all I've been doing. Stopped by Buc-ee's. Some people really, really love Buc-ee's. Okay, anyway. And then I stopped. It's been on my bucket list for a while here. There's a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Marietta, Georgia, and the building looks like a big chicken, and it's kind of neat. And so I got to stop there and, like I said, check that off of my bucket list. Yeah, through Tennessee and Kentucky, and like I said earlier, I am now in Ohio, staying at a Motel 6, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to drive on up into Michigan and visit the Greenfield Village. So I came down here because I thought it was going to be quiet. It is at the moment. So, but also specifically Greenfield Village and this spot. There's some Disney history here as well. So back before Disneyland, before Walt Disney's backyard railroad, the Carolwood Pacific, before the carousel in Griffith Park, Walt had come to Chicago with some of his animators that were interested and loved trains, and they went to a train fair. After that, I believe it was that trip, they came here. They came to the Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village. And the Greenfield Village, it's like a lot of living history museums. They bring in buildings from all over the place and restore them, and it's a museum. But unlike most living history museums, they've got like really historic buildings. There's the Wright Brothers cycle shop and the house where Henry Ford was born. They've got reproduced buildings. There's a reproduction of the garage, the building where Ford built his first car. There's a reproduction of Thomas Edison's Menlo Park Laboratory. I was just over here, and there's a roundhouse. They've got trains that they restore in there, and the locomotive in there, the guy that was working there told me that when Walt came and visited here, that's the locomotive that he based his first locomotive off. I'm thinking he meant the Lily Bell. I would have to look that up. Just off the hand, I think the Lily Bell that he had in the Carolwood Pacific, his backyard railway, might have been modeled after that. But yeah, there's a train that goes around Greenfield Village here. Very familiar, right? Another familiar element, and this is me just kind of speculating, but behind me here, yeah, that's not the Rivers of America. That's not Tom Sawyer Island. But it is a circular waterway that goes around the island. They used to have a riverboat here. It was the Swanee. I guarantee you, Walt came here and saw that and said, yeah, we need to have a riverboat at our theme park, or when he came up with the idea of doing an amusement park. Because originally, Disneyland, before it was Disneyland, was Mickey Mouse Park, and it was going to be on the property right up by the studio. And you look at the renderings and the drawings of what they were planning for that, it had a riverboat in it. When Disneyland was built, it had a riverboat in it. When Magic Kingdom was built, of course, it had a riverboat in it. And so this was very integral to, I think, the history of Disney, Disneyland, and the Rivers of America. So, you know, I look at this and there's not a boat here now, but I know where they could get one. Just a thought. Yeah, I'm going to explore a little bit here, some more. This is, I'm enjoying my time here. Yeah, I thought this would be a good place to continue the story of the last year or so working at the riverboat. It was just over a year ago now. I just saw somebody posted this on Facebook that at D23, the big official Disney fan club convention that they have out in California, they announced all their big changes that they wanted to make, including to Walt Disney World. They wanted to add Monsters Inc. and Zootopia and Cars and Villains Land. They didn't say where any of this stuff was going to go. They just said, hey, we're going to add all this neat stuff. I think if they had announced where it was going to go, they would have been booed off the stage. And if they weren't, they should have been, because it's all horrible. Fearing that many of the announcements were going to be bad, I didn't even watch it. And other cast members that I worked with at the riverboat, they did. And we're at the landing the next day or a couple days later and talking about it. And not only were all the announcements bad on what they were planning on doing, and of course fears of where they were going to put all this stuff, but apparently it wasn't a very well done presentation either. I remember Katie Strickland was saying, boy, yeah, we were watching it and thinking Kristen and Roger could do a better job than what they're doing. And yeah, I guarantee you we could have done a better job. None of it sounded very good. A few days later, they announced on the Disney Parks blog, here's new art for the Cars Land, Cars themed attraction. They hadn't announced what it was called or anything yet. And the artwork clearly put it right in the middle of the rivers of America. And so it was, the writing was on the wall. It was official as far as were concerned. And it took quite a while before they announced an official date for the closing. Everything else that they announced ended up getting closing dates or time frames and everything like that. And yeah, the story goes, so I went to the parks on, it was the anniversary, 53rd anniversary, 52nd, whatever, I'd have to do math here to figure it out, of the Liberty Bell. The Richard Irvine riverboat had opened and started operation on that date, as well as Tom Sawyer Island had officially opened. Neat spot, and it's shaded, and the top is always busy, but although it's not super crowded, but it's going to get more and more crowded once they announce a closing date, which they haven't yet as far as I'm aware. But and so I'm in the parks and I'm walking along the boardwalk there along the river in Frontierland, and I run into one of the Frontierland leaders. Chit-chatted with him a little bit, and I said, hey, did you know it's the riverboat's anniversary? He's like, oh no, I didn't. Of course he didn't know. He's Disney leadership. So he goes and he texts a bunch of people real quick. What I later heard, and this is all rumor, don't know if this is true or not, but apparently they were going to announce the closing date that day. And me talking to the leader, they pass it along, oh hey, we don't want to do this. This would look bad. Of course it would. So they pushed back the announcement. Again, that's all story, rumor, speculation. I don't know if that's true or not. But, oh, I got a goose's and me over here. Anyway, hopefully he keeps his distance. I'm sitting on his bench. Anyway, so they did eventually make the announcement, and I will give Frontierland leadership credit where credit is due, rather than having the cast members that work at the riverboat and love it to death, rather than having us see it on a blog or hear a rumor or something on the bus or whatever. They gave us a call. I think there's at least one person said he didn't get a call, but for the most part, I think they did a very good job of letting us know. We had been hearing rumors and stuff. Oh, it's going to be this date, it's going to be that, and they always ended up being just that, rumors. Finally, the one rumor that we heard did end up being true. It was going to be the 4th of July weekend, which to me is, that's really bad, isn't it? It's the Liberty Bell in Liberty Square, and the 4th of July weekend, they're going to close the riverboat. That didn't sit well. Yeah, and they didn't give us much time either. It was like just a little over a month between when they announced it and when it was actually going to be closing. It was a very fast month. It went by very, very quickly. And I rode the boat as much as I could. I kept track of the number of times I got to play whistle tag. And the week before, the week leading up to the last day, they said, hey, we're going to hold a party for the riverboat cast. I don't think it was really for the riverboat cast. Now, I'm not much of a party guy in the first place, but it felt more like a celebration than a going away party for something that was dearly loved. And they did a big group photo. They didn't announce it until like 2 days before, and they just posted up a picture, post or something in the break room. I had gotten a ride into work that morning. A friend of mine said, hey, are you going to the boat thing, the party, whatever? And yeah, I wasn't. So she offered me a ride. And the night before, she said, oh, are you going for the picture too? I hadn't even heard about it. So if she hadn't offered me a ride, I wouldn't have even known that they were doing this picture thing. And I think there were a number of cast members that should have been there that did not hear about it. It was all kind of messed up. Not a very good day, if you ask me. Best part of the day was the 5-minute ride into work. Seriously. Yeah, and then the last day, it was busy. It was very busy, more so than usual. Had they given people more time to make plans, it would have been a lot more crowded. But it was a weird day. They had cast members in different locations than we normally would run, anticipating heavier crowds. And so I was kind of at the exit or down on the landing, on the lower landing, and I barely interacted with any guests at all. Yeah, it was an odd day, and I'll give credit to the leadership team on another aspect. They did ensure that everybody that was scheduled to work that day, everybody that was able to pick up a shift, did get to work all of the different positions, particularly the positions on the boat, up in the wheelhouse and down in steam. So I got to do my last steam trip. I don't think I had to oil, which was good. I didn't like oiling unless I was doing it, then I didn't mind. But so I did that, and I got to do my last trip up in wheelhouse, and I got to play whistle tag. So I got my last whistle tag in, and it was a bittersweet day. And so I was not scheduled till the very end of the day. So if you weren't scheduled till the end of the day, when your shift ended, you're supposed to go home. You were not allowed to stay in the park and go ride the boat or whatever, unless you had a reservation and you could come in the park, except you were blocked out. Fortunately for me and a few other cast members that did the same thing, they had reservations available. I had a reservation available. So I had to leave the park, come back in using up my comp ticket. And yeah, I was able to ride the boat the last 3 trips. Second to last trip, the 7 o'clock trip, 7:30 trip. There was a 7:30, 8, and then 8:30 was the very last one. So 7:30 trip. I'm on the boat, and I'm glad I was. There's people lining the river walk there in Frontierland. All the Tom Sawyer Island cast members, they had a closing day that day as well. I'm not sure how busy or how crowded that was, but really sad to see that go as well. I had trained over there as well, only worked like 4 shifts, but loved Tom Sawyer Island as well. But yeah, they were all out on the dock waving, and we come past Big Thunder Mountain, and it was like it was scripted, because it was. There was the train in perfect position on that swing bridge playing whistle tag. That makes me feel good that they did that. And that was part of that trip. I was able to ride on the last ride, and I went up into the wheelhouse, and a lot of us were up in the wheelhouse. What a great way to have a last trip on something that I loved and something that all of us there truly loved. And I often say, anybody that worked at the riverboat has probably heard me say this, I'll tell you here as well. Working at the riverboat was like hanging out with a group of friends, but only instead of going out for pizza or a beer or ball game or playing games, going to a movie, whatever it is, you played riverboat. And you would take turns riding up in wheelhouse or doing steam or whatever it was. And normally you're up in wheelhouse by yourself. Sometimes you'd have guests, which was always a treat for me. Sometimes you'd have another cast member, coordinator might come up, and you'd have a chance to talk. But this was like, it was full. It was very full, and I'm not sure if somebody said, hey, we should do it this way, or if it just kind of spontaneously happened, but everybody took turns. You do the first whistle, you do the next bell, you do the next, and everybody was taking turns all the way around the river. It was a good way to go out if they were going to make us go out as they did. And much better than their stupid party, because it was us working together, being friends, being a crew, being a family. And the one thing that I wanted to do more than anything is I wanted to do the very last announcement. I do like giving announcements. I love being a Jungle Cruise skipper. I was a flight attendant for years and years and years, made thousands of announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toledo, or whatever it happened to be. And so I'm comfortable doing it. I like doing it. And I had in my head and been thinking for months, what would I say for a final speech? I had written something down, and the few days leading up to the last day, I went to the various cast members, crew members, said, whoever is going to be the last one in Wheelhouse, the last person assigned to that role, I would like to do this last announcement. I'd show them, and I got a few cast members crying. And so when that time came, we split up the announcement into two parts. There was the regular, everybody go downstairs, exit at the bottom of the boat. And my friend Dakota, she did that as only she could. Look up her YouTube channel, Disney Barbie. She does doll restoration and very big into Barbie dolls. And so she does kind of like a tour guide Barbie vibe announcement. Also a former Jungle Cruise skipper. And just her tone and the way she does it, it was perfect in every sense of the way. And you could hear the guests outside the window from up in the Wheelhouse laughing, as they should, because it was intended to come across that way. And then I got to take over and say my announcement.
On behalf of Captain Horace Bixby, Pilot Sam Clemens, and the entire crew of the Liberty Square Riverboat over the past 53 years, thank you for joining us on this, our 100th and final voyage around Walt Disney's Rivers of America.
So that was a very special way to leave. Everybody left the boat. We went up to the landing, and every night at the end of the night, the flag on the landing is taken down. And for this time, because it was probably the last time, maybe they'll keep that up, or who knows, but it was the last time during the operation of the riverboat. And a couple of the cast members got to help take down the flag, as they do anytime we close. But this time, we had an honor guard, Disney security, who participates in the flag lowering ceremony at the end of every day in town square. They were over and helped ceremoniously retire the flag and retire the boat. Very, very sad. So I made it to Chicago, more specifically Trip Avenue in Chicago, and right behind me here, Walt Disney's birthplace. December 5th, 1901, Walt Disney was born in this house. His father, Elias Disney, built it, and the family lived here for a few years. Today it is a museum. It's only open one day a month for tours, like the last Saturday of the month. Every month, check their website for more information on that. But I thought it fitting that I come here and kind of wrap up this video and more specifically my Disney story. 3 weeks ago today, I was at work at Magic Kingdom, and I got called into the office, and they didn't have a whole lot of information for me, but they had enough. They told me that I was suspended until an investigation was complete. I got no other information besides that. So I went home and had some time to think and contemplate, and different scenarios that could happen, different things that I could do, but I didn't have a whole lot of information to go on. It kind of reminded me of when I worked at the monorails and I was training as a pilot, and I could take the assessment or not take the assessment, and there was only a couple of possible outcomes there, and this felt very much the same. And so after a couple of weeks off, not hearing anything, they finally called me back in, and didn't get a ton of information, but I got enough information to have an informed decision, to make an informed decision for myself about what my future was going to be. Was I going to stay at the Walt Disney Company or not? And I made the decision then at that point in that meeting that I was going to quit, I was going to resign, and find a path somewhere else. I know very little, and I don't know enough to feel bitter or angry, not with the company or with the situation or with any individuals. But I do know enough to feel sadness and heartbreak. That being said, I am at peace with the decision and with the outcome and my situation. I don't know for sure what the long-term future is going to hold and what my plans are, but in the short term, I am headed back home to Minnesota, and by home, I mean my childhood home, where I grew up. I'm going to be staying with my brother and his wife and help take care of my mom. She's 85 years old and has Alzheimer's, and they've been taking care of her, and I'm going to be able to help do that. It's a little higher calling, I think, than telling jokes on the Jungle Cruise. So, yeah, it's kind of weird being back here. The reason that I decided to come here, other than the fact that, yeah, it's Walt Disney's birthplace, and this is where the Disney story started, the Walt Disney story started, it is where my story started. I took a trip down Route 66 from Chicago to LA, and I stopped here at Walt Disney's birthplace. And on the way, I stopped by Marceline and Kansas City and went to Disneyland. And that trip inspired me to move to Florida and get a job at the Walt Disney Company at Walt Disney World. Then when I did move down to Florida, I loaded all my stuff into my truck and I stopped by here again. And so it seems fitting that I come back here to wrap up my story where it started. And before I do wrap up my story completely and wrap up the video, I do want to do a quick aside, a quick sidetrack here. A friend of mine that I got to work with at the riverboat at Liberty Square there, biggest Disney fan I have ever met, ever got to know, knowledgeable and passionate, more so than I am. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to do a quick shout out. This last weekend was her birthday. So from Walt Disney's birthplace, I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I hope it was a good one. I hope you got the gift that I got for you. I got it in the mail right when things were starting to go sideways, and so I hope you got it. I hope you like it. I hope it fits. And I hope, more than anything, that someday you get to come back here and wear it. You'll have to tell me about it. I have never had a conversation with you, big or small, that wasn't the highlight of my day. I've missed having conversations with you and will going forward. With that, I am going to wrap up the video here real quick here. This is the last cast compliment that I ever got. Guests can give them out to cast members, and cast members can give them to other cast members. I received this on the last day of the riverboat. It meant to me a lot then, and today, with what has happened over the last few weeks and the circumstances I'm in now, it means even more. But I wanted to read it. This is from Kyrie from work. I got to work with her at the Jungle Cruise, and she sent this to me. And yeah, for as long as I've known you, You have exemplified what it means to be a cast member. Your dedication and passion for what you do in attractions makes you a truly one-of-a-kind person. I cannot thank you enough for all your riverboat tours, your sharp wit, and your endless knowledge of Disney history, trivia, and facts. The Liberty Belle was a lucky vessel to be captained by someone who takes so much pride in what they do. Thank you for inspiring me to be the best cast member I can be, and I hope your last trip around the river is a memory you will cherish for the rest of your life. You are the magic, and that's not just a corporate slogan there. You are the legacy. You are who Walt would be so proud to have left his attractions in the hands of. My friend, I hope you keep that spark with you, and that on your best and worst days, remember how many lives are different because you were there to make an impact. How many vacation memories you are at the forefront of. Thank you for everything, Captain Roger. All aboard. With appreciation, Kyrie. We don't always know or appreciate or understand fully the impact that we get to make on other people just by being ourselves. And so I appreciate this and getting to know that I was able to make that kind of an impact, just being me, just being a cast member. And I want to take just a moment. The last few weeks have been tough for me. And I do want to thank those that made an impact on me. And not just the last few weeks, but my whole Disney career as well. Small gestures, words, conversations. But specifically the last couple of weeks, everyone that reached out to me, that I reached out to, that offered words of encouragement, advice, and who were able to help me in the many different ways. I do appreciate that, and I wish I could thank everybody individually as I do this, but I'm going to wrap up the video here and make my way home. So, from Walt Disney's birthplace in Chicago, Illinois, I'm Roger Johnson, and this has been another Mickey's Roundtable Adventure.